What Brooklyn Beckham released on January 19th was not an emotional outburst or a reaction written in the heat of the moment. It was a 6-page statement that read like a closing declaration, one that made clear this was not about a disagreement still being negotiated, but a relationship already redefined. In the statement, Brooklyn said he has no desire to reconcile with his parents, David and Victoria Beckham, accusing them of repeatedly undermining his marriage to Nicola Peltz Beckham and of allowing what he described as false narratives about their relationship to persist. The language was measured, but the message was unmistakable. This was not a pause, and it was not temporary. The timing gave those words additional weight. Just days earlier, David Beckham had shared a polished 20-photo recap of the year, celebrating family milestones and professional success. Brooklyn was not included. There was no image, no reference, and no explanation. For a family whose public identity has long been built on unity and control, that absence reframed Brooklyn's statement as something more final. This was not a family spat unfolding in public. It was a fracture being acknowledged. As reaction to Brooklyn's statement spread, David Beckham was not engaging with the situation publicly. Instead, he was in Davos, attending the World Economic Forum alongside political leaders, executives, and global figures. When reporters attempted to ask him about the statement, whether he had a message for his son or any response to the allegations, David declined to engage and continued with his scheduled appearances. There was no rebuttal, no clarification, and no visible shift in posture. The moment did not require interpretation. While one side of the family publicly articulated emotional distance, the other maintained professional continuity on one of the world's most visible stages. What stood out was not confrontation, but the absence of it. According to Brooklyn, the conflict reached this point because of a private dispute that fundamentally changed how he understood his relationship with his parents. In his statement, Brooklyn says that when he attempted to meet his father privately while in the UK, the request was refused unless the interaction took place at a large filmed birthday celebration. Brooklyn says he wanted a personal conversation, not a public event. He then alleges that a private meeting was later offered under one condition, that Nicola would not attend. According to Brooklyn, this request crossed a line because it reframed the issue from a disagreement between parent and child into what he experienced as a rejection of his marriage. This allegation also intersects with a long-standing public narrative suggesting that Nicola Peltz controls Brooklyn and has distanced him from his family. Brooklyn explicitly rejects that claim, stating that the decisions described in his statement were his own, and that portraying Nicola as controlling reverses the reality he describes, one in which boundaries were asserted only after repeated strain. Whether one accepts Brooklyn's account or not, he presents this moment as the point where reconciliation stopped feeling like an option and loyalty became a choice rather than an assumption. Beyond the personal details, the implications extended to territory the Beckham family knows well: brand and perception. The Beckhams are not only public figures, but a global commercial entity. Victoria Beckham's fashion business and David Beckham's long-standing partnerships have benefited from an image of discipline, cohesion, and predictability. Public family conflict introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty is difficult to manage at scale. Public reaction reflects that instability. Online responses show a clear split, with some viewers supporting Brooklyn's decision to speak out and others questioning the need to do so publicly. That division matters because brand confidence is built less on approval than on consistency. In situations like this, the issue is rarely immediate fallout. It is whether long-term trust from audiences, partners, and institutions can remain intact when the image that supported it begins to fracture. What happens next remains unresolved, and that uncertainty may be the most significant development so far. Victoria Beckham, often described as the family's mediator, has not spoken publicly. Whether that silence reflects private attempts at resolution or quiet finality is not yet clear, but it leaves the situation open rather than settled. Any future statement could change the tone of this story. Equally, continued silence could reinforce the sense that this rupture is not temporary, but structural. Ultimately, this situation raises a broader question about families whose identities are inseparable from public image. When privacy has always been secondary to brand, Going public may feel less like escalation and more like the only remaining way to be heard. The question is not who is right, but what is lost when family conflict becomes permanent by design rather than emotion. Was Brooklyn right to draw this line publicly, or did making it public ensure it could never be crossed again?